What you're about to watch isn't just about tech, but also competition.
$15,000 in the next 5 minutes buying the most extreme survival tech on the internet. And then I'm going to chuck myself into the wilderness to see if it actually allows me to survive. So I guess the first...
This is the silent traveler based with Mrwhosetheboss and Mrwhosetheboss.
This is a Jeep.
While they never said a single bad word about each other, their actions tells a different story. Mrwhosetheboss, better known as MKBHD, started uploading videos to YouTube in 2008. He was 14 years old, filming from a webcam, reviewing simple tech products like laptop accessories and software tutorials. However, it was raw with less edits, but over time the quality grew, and by 2012, MKBHD had already become a trusted voice in consumer tech. By 2013, he was producing some of the most polished tech videos on the platform. His audience users grow. It went from casual viewers to tech industry professionals, from having one-time conversation with Elon Musk, as well as Mark Zuckerberg. Even President Obama wouldn't virtually appear in front of his cameras. Today, MKBHD sees over 20 million subscribers, running a full-scale production studio, and interviewed the most powerful names in tech. But across the ocean, a different journey was quietly beginning. What you will be looking at on Hermione, a British economics student, uploaded his first video in 2011.
In this video, we're going to be talking about the Nexus 6.
Under the name Mrwhosetheboss. Unlike MKBHD, also the content leaned heavily into budget device, smartphones and gadgets that every consumer could afford. It wasn't chasing the most powerful hardware, but breaking down the most accessible tech, which worked. As smartphone reviews became more mainstream and YouTube grew as a search engine, Mrwhosetheboss carved out a niche which simply says honest review for the average person, and by 2018 his channel exploded with SEO optimized titles, clear thumbnails, and a friendly tone. Today, he sees over 20.9 million subscribers, nearly shoulder to shoulder with MKBHD's.
Gingerbread look, it's quite nice. It's got green and stuff. I've put the link in the description. The launcher I'm on is Launcher Pro.
On the surface, it looks like two kings ruling the same empire. Both are well spoken and focus on quality, while still building massive following without controversy. In the whole decade on YouTube, MKBHD and Mrwhosetheboss have never appeared in each other's video or even acknowledged each other beyond the occasional thumbnail. And when you consider how many tech creators do interact, the silence starts to feel intentional. But something unexpected happened. August 31st, 2021, Mrwhosetheboss uploaded a video titled "How Tech Companies Manipulate the Media" by featuring Mrwhosetheboss, and just like that, the silence broke. It wasn't a casual vlog, neither a project review. It was an extensive review into how companies like Apple strategically control narrative through selective media access, control reviewed units, and embargo talking points. Mrwhosetheboss didn't just appear, he spoke directly to the issue. What stood out more was the fact that this wasn't his channel, it was on Orange, a delicate signal of who reached out to who, and possibly was more open to the collaboration. The video gained over 7.3 million views and was widely praised for its honesty. Tech YouTube has just witnessed the two biggest voices finally speaking in the same video, and it didn't just stop there. Less than a year later, on June 16, 2022, Mrwhosetheboss uploaded another video. This was titled "Android vs iPhone, which is better," which featured Marcus' face but was on Orange channel, while Marcus gave polished and concise takes. But here's what most people didn't notice. In both videos, the frame was the same. MKBHD clips were filmed in isolation. His appearance was scripted and likely sent remotely. There was no sit down, no back and forth conversation, no shared screen time, just two creators delivering lines from different sides of the planet for the same video. And after the second upload, the silence returned. No follow-up videos, no collapse on the MKBHD channel, and no podcast episode. Was that a moment of unity quickly faded back into distance, and that's when the theory began to shift. Maybe they weren't ignoring each other, instead they were fearing at themselves, not with animosity or hate, but with measured calculation. Because in a space where trust is currency and credibility is everything, collaboration can sometimes be risks. And behind the camera, both MKBHD and Mrwhosetheboss had more at stake than most people realize.
About to spend $15,000 in the next 5 minutes buying the most extreme survival tech on the internet. And then I'm going to chuck myself into the wilderness to see if it actually allows me to survive.
After June 2022, they cut in close, and what followed wasn't a few, but something far more calculated. Because while both creators had their place on camera, even supportive their channel began to drift in opposite directions, and that drift wasn't random, it was strategic. Marcus doubled down on minimalism, polished studio lighting, and sleek drone shots. His video became more cinematic and surgically focused on premium tech. tech, which includes flagship phones, electric cars, and interviews with titans of the industry. Meanwhile, Mrwhosetheboss slid further into mentioning virality, like top 10s, hidden smartphones features, and exposing fake phones from AliExpress. And increasingly, his thumbnail began to resemble formula. By late 2022, Reddit thread began to surface, questioning why the two hadn't worked together again. Some speculated scheduling issues, others believed the tone of their content had grown too far apart. One thing stood out: every time MKBHD dropped a major review, Mrwhosetheboss followed within days. October 7, 2022, Marcus uploaded his Pixel 7 review. 5 days later, Oren released the same video, same title structure, same product with different execution. And why this isn't uncommon on YouTube, it began happening repeatedly. Some called it coincidence, others called it competition, but the most telling difference was in how they reviewed the same tech. MKBHD's videos were tightly edited and rarely over 12 minutes, while ours were longer, more expressive, filled with infographics, layered comparison, and eye-catching edits. On the surface, it felt like two different schools of content, but underneath, they were chasing the same audience from two different directions, and that's where the collaboration of praise and trust. No MKBHD guest spots, no praise from Oren on waveform, not even a public interaction on Twitter, despite both creators posting regularly in the same niche. By 2023, both creators have cemented their presence in the tech community, but behind the cameras, the ideology to fuel their sources couldn't have been more different. Marcus built his empire on force. If mostly released his sponsorship that didn't align with his brand. No affiliate links, no sponsorship made role is around the content. It wasn't about avoiding money, it was about positioning. Marcus didn't just want to be a tech reviewer, he wanted to be the standard, the one companies couldn't buy. But when Samsung set out a unit to tight embargo dates, Marcus was off to the next video, prioritizing quality over first impression, and when Apple slipped in quite downgrades, MKBHD was one of the few creators to call them out public, even if it meant burning bridges. Mrwhosetheboss on the other hand played a more accessible game. The video frequently featured affiliate links.
The table. What's your name?
Raja.
Raja Marquez.
Marquez.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a blindfold.
Cool.
So go ahead and put that on, and let me know when you're totally blind.
I'm totally blind.
I'm gonna put an
I've just spent about 4 hours hands-on with the Nintendo Switch 2, the sequel to my favorite console of all time. I've been counting down to this moment for like a quarter of my life. So here's my take. I think that from every single angle you look at it, the Switch 2 is like the...
Before a new piece of tech comes out, a lot of tech companies do what's called a pre-brief, which is basically where they'll show the new unreleased piece of tech to a bunch of journalists and tech media and explain everything that's new, and with a little bit of marketing flair too. And I've done my best to never quote these pre-briefings, and I'll do...
He partnered with brands like NordVPN and Skillshare, educational and funny, increasingly elaborate videos, and while the camera may roll with smile, the business behind it doesn't blink, and that's why MKBHD and Mrwhosetheboss can't afford to be friends.
Wow, that is insane. What my dream phone is over the years. And usually my answer is actually something impossible, because I want like the screen from this one phone, but then the cameras from this other phone, and this huge battery over here, and the high-end chip from that other phone, and then I kind of want to Frankenstein them all together. But now there's a phone that appears to be as good as a phone spec sheet can possibly be at this very...